You know, literally, this is a painful time beyond people are hurting. It's so blaring because media outlets who we depend upon are only displaying just the most disparaging images. And these things were already done to break our whole culture down. Yes, I'm my brother's keeper. You know, and we've had the passing of Freddie Gray within the last couple weeks, and there's been all kinds of unrest, and people are now going to act on these feelings.
It's been very emotional. It's been a situation of turmoil, of a situation of great peril. It's been something that it's been years in the coming, in my opinion.
The last week was really tough. This is one of those questions that I'm very politically involved, so I don't know if you should have asked me that. But during the last week with what they're calling riots, I call civil unrest. It wasn't riots. Baltimore as a whole was affected, but Baltimore as a whole wasn't being burned like they said. This was all perpetuated by poor politics and poor leadership. And our business suffered. Tonight is actually the very first night we've been open since the curfew was lifted. And we lost a considerable amount of money over the last week. I mean, a considerable amount of money that we'll never see back. That was literally, it was poor leadership from the mayor and other leaders in Baltimore city government. And the one thing I can agree on that other people have been saying, Governor Larry Hogan was actually the catalyst for, actually getting us out of this, because I think it would have been far worse if the state didn't step in.
You mentioned earlier that you met some people a decade ago, and now all of a sudden you're around them and doing work with them. Talk about the thrill of that.
Thrill is what you call it. Great word. Okay, so it's been about 15 years that I've lived in this space in Baltimore City. I've moved a little bit here and there, Detroit. Spent time back home for a minute. But I didn't know the folks that I met were just as incredible as they were. There was a guy that I knew that was part of a dance troupe and a drumming company. And so they were just surrounded by all these musicians. And this is a particular musician that's here tonight. Like I'm reliving all these memories. I'm sorry, it's a lot. So, Thaljan was on the level then. He was an awesome musician. I mean, talent pool in this space is, you can already attest. Everybody who plays an instrument gets a musician from Baltimore. And I take my little piece. Being born in D.C., my mother is from Baltimore, so I take my piece of the pie.
Baltimore has been known for jazz over the last, half a century, and unfortunately, there aren't enough venues out there. So we want to be like we were with Darker Than Blue Cafe. We want to be the home for jazz here in Baltimore. And I think this working with Clarence Ward III, Jerron, all those guys, working with them, I think we've already put another foot in the door.
Anyway, I come in here and these guys are playing, and I see them in the audience and I'm like, okay, I'm in the right space, good company. So he is there while I'm asked to sing. I'm honored to sing. I said online, listen, I need some therapy. I'm gonna come out and sing. And he soloed on the song. So that floored me. Because it's an honor to receive the respect back that I get.
Well, it's healthy in Baltimore. I mean, Baltimore's history in jazz and music, and it's vibrant, but it needs these venues in order to stay alive.
Yeah, it does. And, Birdland is a sports bar and grill. What we do is we serve great food, and it's not just your average wings and things. It's great pub grub.
Mr. Thaljan did something that I caught in the middle of the song that I probably wouldn't have caught if I knew I wasn't in this music like that. You know, I didn't receive the training, maybe from how long these guys have had it. And I've only even started investing in myself personally in my late 20s, early 30s. So I'm learning what I'm learning now. And he came in on a song I'm singing, so that said what it said. And then I understood the language he was playing from his trumpet. So we talked about that. And when I seen the smirk, because I was articulating to him, I caught what you did. Like, it was, you know, and I guess it was that musician speak. You know, if I did IT, you know, it's because the rams get bites and da-da-da-da. But I was able to talk to him. He received it. I got my life. I got my whole life. That's what I came to do.
And we try to be a neighborhood partner as well, you know, and that's what we've tried to establish, is a connection with the neighborhood as well as bringing a great product.
And what made you guys decide to step into this venture?
Darker than blue.
Yeah. I mean, this is not our first step into the water, and that's what we've learned is that you can't step in and be something outside of what the community wants and what the neighborhood also will respond to.
Our first restaurant was extremely successful, so it gave us the opportunity to. It actually gave us the opportunity to open this restaurant. I mean, Darker Than Blue was definitely a premier spot for jazz, so I couldn't think of another opening another restaurant without bringing jazz to that restaurant. So I mean, it's definitely been, with jazz, great food. It's always a healthy amalgamation for a successful restaurant.
For one, the space that was created, that was a heavenly space in that song. We did one song, and yet the elation just, it was incredible. People, you know, I'm sorry, excuse me, I just had to tell you that was the best, not to brag, but it was a thing that was received by others. So not only was it just my gift, it was the gift for everybody included that God allowed us to have, and it felt so good, especially in a time where I know I have to preach a message. I have to get it out, because I know how to articulate my feelings, and I'm doing all this kind of thing, and it's working for me. Instead of me going out and maybe busting somebody in the head or yelling at the police in their face or some kind of thing, I can strategize my feelings. I've worked with my feelings long enough just not to be. So, you know, I felt special in that. Everybody is not Michael Jackson, so maybe you don't know the name, but that's a name to me, you know, because I respect everybody for especially what they're doing. Oh, so much better than talking.
I mean, you know, with all of that, it still hit home.
Yeah.
And we're connected. Like I said, we're connected to the community. We've been in Baltimore a very long time, and you know, you see the disparity and the separation economically, socially, and this really came to a head. And you know, we have tried to be a place that, you know, brings different people together. I mean, we've been lucky, even on Greenmount, we were able to bring people from different cultural situations, social situations into a restaurant to enjoy, you know, what we said was, at the time, comfort food, but it was, you know, an African American culture. You know, that was the basis of the food, basis of the music, and the same thing here. We're in a mixed environment. We try to bring that culture. When we talk about jazz and the music, we bring that culture to a mixed community of people who enjoy it. And, you know, right now, what we're seeing is, you know, things have calmed down. I've heard people talk about this is a healing portion, and we'll see what happens. You know,
What's interesting about the whole thing is that, you know, Birdland, businesses like Birdland, you know, have always been a cornerstone for success of any corridor or any area of Baltimore and other main streets throughout the country. And we're the ones that suffer the most during times of turmoil, but we're also the catalyst for growth in any community that you go to. So in short, we will get past this, and this too shall pass, and we will be stronger, in the end for it. But I think that we need new leadership in this city, and it's only going to come from us.
So we're literally all one. We're not separated or divided by anything other than what we put in our minds or what was put in our minds. So, I see my brother as me and my sister as me. There's no separation.